What if I told you predicting tomorrow's weather now involves more lines of code than a politician's actual criminal indictment? Most sheep think a forecast's just some cartoon cloud on an app telling you to bring your sensible anorak. But no, behind that little rain emoji is a steroidal supercomputer doing more calculations than the deep state trying to justify the last decade of atmospheric dumping. This monstrous metal bastard doesn't just guess whether you'll get sunburnt or soaked, it's the heart of the industrial-scale geoengineering scheme brought to you by the same lot that gave us mandatory track and trace and smart meters that are definitely just waiting for the order to fry your kettle. We're pulling back the chemtrail-smeared curtain on how forecasting mutated from old blokes with damp fingers to billion-pound bunkers of circuitry now hosted in God knows where by Microsoft, who clearly weren't content with just cocking up your operating system, they needed to cock up the sky too. Before the mega machines, forecasts were quaint. Bit of cloud spotting, feel the wind, maybe lick a finger and point. Now, it's weaponized climate maths. Back in the day, a bloke called Lewis Fry Richardson, sounds like someone who'd own a vintage tinfoil hat shop, tried to predict 6 hours of weather during the First World War using a pen and a brain alone. It took him 6 bloody weeks. By the time he finished, the weather had changed, the war had ended, and the clouds were already being seeded. He imagined a factory of 64,000 people, each doing a bit of weather guesswork. Fast forward, we've now replaced them all with microchips that do it quicker, colder, and with less chance of accidentally revealing the actual government agenda. Then came the big lad, the supercomputer, huge, loud, and constantly overheating, much like me arguing with a sheeple on YouTube comments. By the 1980s, these things were tearing through data from satellites, aircraft, and bored interns at the Met Office who were probably already mixing up the barium and aluminium aerosols. By the early 2000s, the Met Office's big metal box could do 14 quadrillion calculations a second. That's more than every mainstream media journalist combined, if they had to actually process a truth. Stored enough data to hold a century of raw, unfiltered geoengineering blueprints, all working to figure out whether it'll be a bit nippy on Tuesday after they've deliberately suppressed the temperature. But that box wasn't enough, so now they've moved the whole damn weather machine to the cloud, the literal cloud, because clearly the metaphorical ones weren't enough to keep track of all this orchestrated climate chaos. Microsoft Azure now hosts the UK's forecasting system because what screams trustworthy global control more than outsourcing the atmosphere to Bill Gates? This beast processes 215 billion weather observations a day. That's more than the public receives complaints every time a news anchor parrots the official party line. The cloud system runs something called the momentum model, which sounds like a shadowy globalist organisation, and it churns out forecasts faster than a Daily Mail headline about a new COVID variant. It also means they can now predict weather 2 weeks in advance. Lovely. Just enough time to cancel your barbecue, rebook it, cancel again, and end up sitting under a sky full of freshly deployed nanoparticles, wondering why the fuck you trusted the government narrative in the first place. Where does all the info come from? Satellites, balloons, radar, and a bloke named Gary on a cliff in Cornwall waving a stick at the wind, completely oblivious to the military jets spraying the atmosphere behind him. All of it gets hoovered into this AI monstrosity and churned out as science. But hold your applause, because when there's gaps in data, they don't just shrug. No, they use data assimilation, which is code for, we'll just guess the weather and make the lie sound fancy. Once that's done, the supercomputer does its thing, solves equations, runs simulations, probably plays a cheeky game of global domination while it's at it, and then the meteorologists sprinkle a bit of human flavour over it to make it sound less like a threat. They say this new system lets people plan their day, but we both know the truth. You'll still get pissed on 5 minutes after stepping outside with no brolly, and your nan will still ask if the weatherman's been on the government payroll again. So next time you see that smiling sun or grumpy cloud on your screen, remember this: it's not weather. It's data warfare wrapped in a forecast. I have been Craven Moorhead. Please remember, people, if you watched it and you like it, then share it for others to enjoy as well. Don't forget to check out Liam Stoneley anywhere he's not currently banned from. Bye for now.